Have you ever thought about how ancient wisdom and modern science might actually be describing the exact same thing, just, using different words? Well, stick with me here, because we're about to dive into an absolutely fascinating connection between a poem from centuries ago and some of the biggest ideas in modern physics.
Okay, so let's go way back. The great poet Kalidasa started one of his masterpieces with this exact verse. It translates to, "I bow to Parvati and Parameshwara, the mother and father of the universe." Now, on the surface, it's just a beautiful devotional line, right? But what if I told you that hidden inside it is a vision of the cosmos that is, well, it's pretty astonishing.
And that leads us to the big question, really. Could a line of poetry actually be describing the Big Bang and black holes thousands of years before we even had the science to theorize them? And look, this isn't about pitting mythology against science, not at all. Think of it more like exploring two different languages, the language of poetry and the language of physics, to see if they're pointing to the very same eternal truth.
All right, to really get this, we've got to break it down. Let's start with the first half of this cosmic equation, creation, and how it's all fueled by pure energy.
So this brings us to an incredible concept called Ardhanareeswara. It's this striking image, half male and half female, showing the union of Shiva and Parvati in a single form. But this is so much more than just gender balance. This is a symbol for the universe itself, the whole shebang. Creation and destruction, form and formlessness, all locked together in this eternal embrace. So let's split that down the middle. On one side, you've got Shakti, that's Parvati. She is all about energy, creation, movement, basically everything you can see and touch. And on the other side, you have Shiva, or Parameshwara. He represents the void, the stillness, the disillusion, the formless consciousness that holds everything.
Let's just zoom in on Shakti for a second. She's seen as the divine feminine, the very essence of power and energy. In this way of thinking, she's the cosmic mother who gives birth to everything. Galaxies, stars, you, me. And here's the crucial part. Without Shakti, without that creative spark of energy, the universe is just a blank page. Nothing moves. Nothing even exists.
Okay, now let's switch gears from poetry to cosmology. Science tells us that about 13.8 billion years ago, our entire universe was crammed into this tiny, single point of infinite density, a singularity. And then, boom, the Big Bang. In a fraction of a second, an ocean of pure energy just burst out, creating space, time, and eventually every single thing we see today.
And right there, that is our first mind-blowing connection. The ancient idea of Shakti, the divine mother, the source of all energy and movement, it lines up perfectly with the modern scientific theory of the Big Bang, where a burst of pure energy is literally the womb for all of creation. It's two totally different languages describing the exact same truth. So that's creation. But what about the other side of the cosmic coin? Dissolution. Now we're going to explore the void, the principle represented by Shiva.
Now, there are two key things about Shiva we need to know for this. First, he's called Akaay, which means he's without a physical form. He is the infinite void. And second, he's Layakaraka, the great dissolver. He's the one who absorbs everything back into himself. He's the ultimate force of cosmic contraction.
So what's the ultimate dissolver in modern astrophysics? Yep, you guessed it, a black hole. When a huge star dies, it just collapses under its own gravity into another singularity, a point of infinite density. It creates this boundary, the event horizon, and anything that crosses it, matter, energy, even light itself, gets pulled in and absorbed forever. I mean, the parallel here is just stunning. Think about it. A black hole is essentially formless, just like Shiva is Akaay, and it absorbs everything back into a singularity, just like Shiva's role as Layakaraka. It's as if the ancient sages somehow intuited this cosmic reality through their philosophy. It's wild.
Okay, so we've got creation from energy, and we've got dissolution into the void. Now let's put those two pieces together and see the complete picture, the eternal cosmic dance.
You see, both ancient philosophy and some modern scientific ideas suggest the universe isn't a one-and-done deal. It's a cycle. First, energy bursts out in a moment of creation. That's our Shakti and the Big Bang. Then, the universe expands. And then, matter gets pulled back into singularities. That's Shiva and black holes. And all of this sets the stage for a potential rebirth, a brand new cosmic cycle. This cosmic rhythm, this constant pulse of expansion and contraction, of creation and then dissolution, that is precisely what the symbol of Ardhanareeswara is all about. It is the cosmic dance of Shakti and Shiva playing out across billions and billions of years.
So let's bring it all home and just look at how these two worlds, poetry and physics, really do seem to converge on one single reality.
And when you lay it all out like this, it's crystal clear. The ancient idea of Shakti as creative energy, well, that maps directly onto the Big Bang. Shiva as Akaay, the formless void, sounds a lot like our concept of space-time, doesn't it? Shiva as Layakaraka, the great dissolver, is a perfect mirror for a black hole, and their whole cosmic dance reflects the scientific theory of a cyclical universe.
But why does any of this matter to us? Well, because these giant cosmic events aren't just happening out there. They're a mirror for our own lives. We're born from a spark of energy, we expand through our experiences, and eventually we all return to stillness. Science is incredible at showing us the mechanics of how, but this kind of ancient wisdom offers a little glimpse into the why.
And so, when Kalidasa bowed to the mother and father of the universe, he wasn't just being poetic. He was recognizing these fundamental principles of reality. Which leaves us with one final, really fascinating question. What other universal truths are hiding out there in plain sight, tucked away in ancient wisdom, just waiting for science to catch up?